Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have ourselves casual fucking Dodo versus Prodigy Dota, aka P Dagon, and it's a match in the breakthrough playoffs. Teams are fighting to stay or make it to the first division as it stands. I'm your host, Saint D, and I'll be joined by my co-caster Insanity, and hopefully we'll have a brilliant game of Dota underway. And right off the bat, we get the bans kicked off. We've got pretty much standard fare. Brewmaster being banned out, coming out from CFD. Clearly, they don't want to deal with the teamfight controlling powerhouse that is the Brewmaster, because he's just a nightmare to deal with in teamfights. The amount of control created by the Brewmaster is something you never really want to deal with. And then over on Prodigy Dota, they definitely don't want to deal with the Lycan, whether it is, especially when it's on the Dire side, they definitely don't want to deal with that. And right off, and then they follow that up with a Void ban. Pretty much standard fare. These are Void is among the top favorites right now, so it's not uncommon to be seeing him being banned in the first phase, because you just don't want him being picked up in the first phase, because the great thing about a Void pickup is that he's very versatile in the fact that you can place him in the off lane, you can place him in the safe lane, and he'll work either way depending on what you draft around him. Should be interesting to see.
Good evening, folks. By the way, I'm back.
Yo.
Just on that last point, D, you're 100% correct. We see Void being picked up a lot now in the off lane and doing mad amounts of work in that off lane. So he can't play mid even. I've seen him lately being picked up a lot of mid as well.
Yeah, in the odd occasion they put him mid. And we've got Doom being banned out. I think for the most part, in every single game I've casted in the past 2 weeks, I've seen Doom being banned. I haven't seen Doom in a single game. Now, I don't know if I should be delighted as Snare would be. I'm actually a little sad that I don't get to see Doom.
Yeah, Doom's a very good hero. I mean, he can pretty much take a single target out of a fight.
Yeah.
He gets very tanky and he gets very farmed very quickly, which is always a scary thing to go up against. For first round ban, not really my choice personally, but it's understandable why you wouldn't want to game, so especially if he goes against a strat that you're planning.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, ever since, I don't know if it was 6.78 or 6.79 when they just gave Doom the ultimate buff, where they were like, Doom screws over every other hero. At that point, people were like, we don't want to play against this hero. And in any case, Prodigy Dota picking up the Tide Hunter first. One of the tier 1 picks, very prominent since the Anchor Smash buff.
Yeah, no, Tide Hunter is, with that Ank Smash buff, not only that, he's just always been a generally good hero, generally very tanky, that he lands a good ulti, and that is your team fight pretty much won,
Yeah, pretty much. CFD going pretty bold, picking up a Viper first in the first phase, and then going for the Death Prophet. So right now, it's not like they're actually showing what's in their cards right now, because the Death Prophet is obviously one of the strongest pushers in the game, but coupled with the right heroes, she actually works pretty well in teamfight scenarios. And then Viper is one of those guys you send in the front lines. He's deceptively tanky in the lane, and you pick him to win the lane that you put him in.
I know I've said this in previous games as well. What I love about these kind of drafts is it gives you so much flexibility. I mean, Viper, we know, can even play support. I mean, I've seen Viper support, I've seen Viper mid, and I've seen Viper carry. Death Prophet can go in pretty much any lane herself. So it just gives you so much flexibility, and that's what I really enjoy about these drafts, is you can't actually see what's coming or actually predict what's coming next.
Yeah. And Razor being picked up. Before I expound on the Razor pickup, I'm gonna call the earthquake that happened today on the mere fact that you just referenced the Viper support. The earth, like I say, the universe knew you were gonna say something like that.
Viper support's legit, bro. Legit.
The day it happens, I'll quote you on it. But yeah, we get Razor being picked up, very prominent when combined either with the Faceless Void or the Tidehunter. So obviously the Faceless Void's not the option, so obviously then you'll couple it with the Tidehunter. The nice thing about Razor is that he's also, as you mentioned, flexibility is the name of the game. Razor works well with pushing lineups, he works well with fighting lineups, especially because in terms of fighting situations, he actually takes out one of your damage dealers and renders them moot.
I absolutely love that hero. I think he is such an overpowered hero right now. And in TI, he was actually picked up the most out of any other hero. He was picked up 85 times.
Yeah.
Even though his win rate wasn't that great, though. I mean, he only had a 42% win rate. I still think it's such a powerful hero.
It's a powerful hero. I think the biggest problem that teams had in going into the international is that they would give him a draft that didn't really give him a specific direction. So if you're picking up a Razor and you don't have a specific plan for the Razor, you might have a problem going into the laning phase, going into the mid game. And so in general, there must be a plan. Either you're going to be fighting or you're going to be pushing. There must be a plan. And Prodigy Dota banning out the Shadow Shaman, knowing that since the Death Prophet has been picked up, they don't want to deal with extra push and they don't want to deal with sustainability. Banning out the Dazzle, because that's one hero you never want to couple up with a Viper. And then CFD answering with the Marana and the Naga Siren bans. They don't want any disengage, they don't want any easy engage for the Tidehunter and the Razor.
Yeah, both Marana, I think they're looking at that Tidehunter as a very key player.
Yeah.
Because both the Marana and the Naga Siren are very good for getting in there and getting out, you know.
Yeah.
With Moonlight Shadow, with Song and Siren, you know. Both very good setup heroes. So I think they're just careful and cautious of that, rather get them out the pool, I think is their philosophy right now.
Yeah. What do you think about the Rubik pickup?
So far, I mean, he has so much to steal that is so beneficial right now. I mean, he can steal Ravage. If he sits back, and I predict him going for a dagger in this. Yeah. If he sits back, he waits for Razor to cast Eye of the Storm. He sits back, he waits for Ravage. Even AA's ulti. He's got a pool right now of spells that are just so good for the team, or coupled with a Death Prophet or a Viper, you know, that sits in the front line. Yeah, I think it's a good pickup. I like that pickup.
No, it's definitely a good pickup, and I think the answer coming out from Prodigy Dota with the Ancient Apparition, they're essentially answering a good lane support with a lane support that's just as good. Ancient Apparition is going to be, especially when coupled with another good support, he's going to be instrumental in terms of controlling the lane. He's got the cold feet. He's got and then one of his bigger spells, which may be the unsung hero in terms of his laning phase. The Chilling Touch.
10 seconds remaining.
This Earthshaker pickup though, let's talk about that for a sec. You know, I'm a huge fan, I love Earthshaker, but I just don't see how Earthshaker is a good pickup in this draft unless his plan is to jump in, get them down as low as possible, and DP's ulti kind of does the rest. But I don't know, I'm just not comfortable with that pickup in this lineup. Against tanky heroes like Tidehunter, Razor, you know. Yeah. I don't know, just doesn't. It seems a bit odd to me. Like, maybe they're waiting on their river or trump card or.
Okay, I would say the Earthshaker pickup. I think they would have been better off had they gone for the Sand King, because I think in terms of what you get out, since they kind of play similar games, the Earthshaker and the Sand King. But I think the bigger thing with the Sand King is whenever you go for a Sand King, he gets his Blink Dagger much earlier than an Earthshaker would, and then in terms of his roaming potential, it's I would say it's equal to Earthshaker's. If not better. So I think they would have benefited from the Sand King in that respect. But I think the Earthshaker pick is them responding to the fact that Prodigy Dota is going for a full-on fighting lineup. So what they're trying to do now is get some good disengage, and the Fissure is always great disengage. I just don't know if they need an extra disengage hero, possibly something like the Centaur Warrunner, for example, because as it stands, the only true disengage they have is the Earthshaker, And we've got a Tinker ban coming out from CFD, and we get the Weaver ban. The Weaver ban strikes me as a little interesting, but then again, Weaver would work wonders on the off lane for CFD, because Weaver's one of those heroes who kind of gets very aggressive, and supports suffer from his influence in the lane.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Weaver's never really a hero one play against. Me personally, I'm glad that the Tinker's banned. I hate that hero almost as much as I hate Skyra. And we've also seen him being picked up quite a bit lately.
Here's another thing. And okay, that's I would say that's extra disengaged, but that's a risky pick. I
think that pick is not for the disengage. I'm sure that is the whole let's play MSS Darkseer, blink in, bring everybody together so Earthshaker can jump in on them.
It's definitely for that as well.
I don't think they're planning disengage. I think this is purely for them to actually have this almost wombo combo type thing. I mean, you got Darkseer pulling them in, you've got Death Prophet running around with his spirits, and Earthshaker just hitting a lot of damage. So I think they are trying to go for that wombo combo. That being said, I think Tidehunter is a good counter for that, though.
Yeah, that's the worry I have when I see the Darkseer being picked up, because when you look at how the game progresses, Darkseers usually, I mean, Darkseer does actually get online pretty quick, but Tidehunter in terms of the level and the skill set that they bring to the table, the Tidehunter actually is a little bit more useful, a little bit earlier than the Darkseer would be. So it's risky going for a Darkseer, knowing that the enemy offlaner is probably going to get either he's going to get online at least earlier than you, unless you commit resources to shutting him down.
Yeah, I don't know why. Right now, I'm definitely giving the advantage to Prodigy in terms of drafts. I'm just looking at how a team fight could work in my head, and I'm seeing that we've got CFD wanting to be all together and wanting to have all the Prodigy together, but it seems to suit Prodigy more than it be. I mean, you got your who does your ring and lots of damage. You've got AA that's going to do lots of damage. Wraith King who's going to die and just respawn and slow everybody down. Yeah, I don't know. Me personally, I give the advantage to Prodigy in terms of these drafts.
And my greater worry for CFD's draft would possibly be how they transition into the mid game, because when you look at their potential damage coming out from them, they don't have the best burst damage coming into the game, and then you look at how they go into the mid game, damage potential is not as high as it's coming out from Prodigy.
Another thing is, how do they deal with this tankiness of Prodigy?
Yeah,
I mean, 4 of those heroes are extremely tanky.
You got
Razor, you got Wraith Knight, and you got Tidehunter. I don't see anything that really deals with that tankiness, you know?
Yeah. In any event,
I mean, those late game are going to be hard to kill.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be hard to kill. I think the one trump card coming out from CFD would be the Darkseer, because the thing is, Darkseer in the late game, he uses all your strengths against you essentially with his wall.
30 seconds to battle.
But yeah, in any event, let's introduce the lineups before we get any action under the way. Coming out on the Dire for CFD, we've got Dirge over on the safe lane, Death Prophet, we've got Boom Boom playing up the Rubik, we've got Easy on the Earthshaker, you go on the mid lane, we've got Weeple on the Viper, and we've got Etchy Brony over on the Darkseer.
Cool, and on the side of Prodigy, we've got Tidehunter, who appears to be that solo off lane. We have Raze in the safe lane. We have VF Dragonaut in mid. And looks like we've got Explodes and Mackie Boy. Looks like they're going to be roaming around, possibly going for this first blood. Yes, it's smoked up.
Ooh. Can Weeple sense this? I have spider sense. Where's his spider sense? Ooh. Looks like he's in the wrong neighborhood. There goes the Wraithfire Blast. There goes the Dragon Tail, and it's first blood for VF. That's not the start you want. That's not the start you want. That's pretty good coming out from Prodigy, recognizing the fact that Weeple versus VF over on the Viper. Ooh, looks like we just missed another kill over on the off lane.
Yeah, Tide being dropped to that top lane.
Yeah.
You have to admit, this is not going to be an easy job for Tide. I mean, these guys have a lot of burst damage with
Yeah.
all three of them.
You know, as tanky as he is, he's gonna have a hard time, because that's the one thing about the Earthshaker. The Earthshaker's initiation is longer range than you would expect from another support, saying the Sand King, for example.
Yeah, you see them, he's just trying to soak up these levels. He's not even attempting to go for last hits right now.
Yeah. Because the thing is, he knows the moment he gets Fissure blocked, then he's probably losing his life.
You see Explo is just standing here mid, just trying to guard this DK for a bit, but not really bothering Weeple too much. I mean, he's still doing what he wants to do there.
And looks like we've got an engagement. We've got a few right clicks going out onto Acid Jack, but they're merely zoning him out. It looks like he was trying to pull off the radiant offlane pull, but they're definitely being a little bit vigilant in terms of protecting this pull over the side.
Yeah, they're actually doing a very good job defending it.
Explos is actually under the guise of invisibility right now. We've got a fissure going out. Applejack. There goes your telekinesis. And it puts him on the other side of the fissure. Acid Jack may just rue his life and he falls to the Earthshaker.
How was that for plays though?
That was brilliant.
Lifted on the other side of the fissure. That's actually a very clever move.
That was actually pretty good coming out from Boom Boom.
Explos has the invis, but they did spot him out when he came past the ward over here on top.
Yeah, this sentry is
so
actually the sentry is actually a little tragic in terms of its placement, because it doesn't actually spot out the observer ward there.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like
just
that,
roaming around.
Just like that, the Tide Hunter's having not so much the best time, and on the inverse, you've actually got on the opposite side, you've got Echi Brony on the Darkseer. He's doing a much better job. I mean, you look at the CS board, he's sitting at 10 for 0 as opposed to Acid Jack on the Tide Hunter, who's still got 4 for 2.
Okay, but I think generally speaking that is quite expected. I mean, we kind of expect Darkseer to still be able to get those last hits and not even have to be anywhere near the fight, purely because that Iron Shell. Acid Jack kind of battles to get those last hits. I mean, he's just looking to get his level 6 right now.
Yeah, I guess.
More interesting to notice is how even the mid lane is. I don't know, I would expect Viper to be doing a lot more damage, especially with Dragonaut not having a bottle, but it's actually a pretty even lane.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Weeple's looking much into trying to harass VF that much, because that's the one thing about Viper going up against. Looks like we might have an engagement. There goes a fissure on the right side, and they're not in range to get the telekinesis off. There goes the telekinesis off, going on for VF, but they don't have enough to take him down. And Weeple's actually falling a little bit low, but he's gonna charge onto the bottle, so he'll be fine.
DK pick up his bottle as well. I think that if that Rubik on Boom Boom was a second quicker there, that should have been another kill right there. I think he just was out of range of getting that telekinesis.
Yeah,
you know?
I think
Creep's doing a bit of blocking there as well.
Yeah, the thing is, the other problem is the Earthshaker was ahead of him. So, and I mean, the Earthshaker's fissure is long enough to get his say in terms of once the engagement starts. So I think the Rubik should have been ahead of the Earthshaker in that engagement.
I agree. Nonetheless, nobody was killed.
No harm, no foul.
Yep.
Well, there's foul because you get off, you roam, and then you don't get anything. So it wastes your time, and it kind of delays you getting your levels. Interesting to note, Explos is actually a little bit under-leveled in terms of the overall spectrum of the supports. He's still sitting on level 2 right now.
Yeah, he's been roaming a lot, and a lot of those times it's been unsuccessfully roaming.
Yeah,
now I see he's actually transitioned to Bush, which I don't know if is the best, or is he just pulling here?
I think he's trying to get up his levels. I think he recognizes the fact that he might fall behind in terms of levels.
Yeah. Let's just see in terms of farm. Oh, we've got a smoke going out on them.
They're adamant about trying to get something going down in this mid lane.
In terms of farm, though, he's not actually doing too bad in terms of gold.
You know, he's
sitting
actually
on higher than both CFD's support.
Oh, we've got a fissure going out and it blocks VF's path of escape. We've got a few poison attacks going out onto VF. VF will probably lose his life. A Wraith Fire Blast catches easy in the backgrounds. But VF loses his life to Weeple over on the Viper. And over on the top lane, Death Prophet taking down Acid Jack on the Tidehunter. So these rotations coming out from CFD proving a lot more fruitful than those coming out from Prodigy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, okay, there we had the Earthshaker pick up the haste rune, which allowed him to fish it in and then just run the hell out.
Yeah.
I think there was a bit of wrong targeting there, because Explos went for Earthshaker even with haste. If he had gone for Weeple, they might not have got the kill, but they would have definitely
They would have secured the life of
VF.
VF, yeah.
So I think there was just a bit of, you know, panic. Didn't expect to run into you. Let's just stun you quickly.
Yeah, and the worry coming out from CFD now, they may not have a lineup that's completely built. That's actually built around pushing, but they do have. There goes a plasma field. We've got a telekinesis, putting back Zassy on the backgrounds. There he puts out the static link. There's a wall catching Zassy. Boom, boom, actually takes a fall to the Eye of the Storm. And it's a double kill for Zassy. Holy moly, he takes 2 kills before he falls down.
That was very well played by Zassy though. He didn't panic, he knew there was nothing he could do.
Yeah.
So he just stood there stealing damage and dealing it right back. He had his ulti up. That was actually very well played by him. I mean, most people would have tried to run back and try to escape. He realized he couldn't. He said, "Let's get what I can before I die."
Yeah, he was showing a bit of bravado there, just standing his ground. And I mean, he got a double kill before he went down. So that's a lot of that's some gold going his way. That's some levels going in his way. Dirge may be in a world of trouble. There goes the Dragon Tail onto the Death Prophet. We've got a Wraithfire Blast catching Dirge. There goes the Cold Feed. Dirge will probably lose his life. There goes the Viper Strike onto Explos. There goes another shot onto taking down Explos on the Wraith King. We've got ourselves a kill onto Ancient Apparition as well, going the way of the Earthshaker. And that is a 2-for-1 going the way of CFD. CFD keeps taking these great exchanges. And the problem is when you take exchanges in this nature against this lineup. Now, obviously it's not the same thing. There goes a Fissure going on to VF. But he should make it out alive. But yeah, you make the mistake of taking unfavorable changes against these guys, and you might have exorcism being procced onto your towers, and then you'll lose territory very soon.
Yeah, I'm still right now giving the advantage to Prodigy.
Yeah.
Like right now, CFD are winning this early game, but I don't think it's by enough, just purely based on the draft. I just don't think that they're doing enough. I mean, it's already almost 10 minutes in.
Yeah, no, it's
kind of damaged one tower, but I just don't think they actually are doing enough.
Yeah, no,
it's
not enough.
They need to get these towers down.
It's not enough.
They just got an ulti. I don't think she's popped it yet.
Ooh, looks like Easy's in a world of trouble. There goes a Wraithfire Blast going onto him. Cold Feet, Dragon Tail, and he falls to the Wraith King. Yeah, CFD recognizes this, and it's essentially why they keep trying to take trying to rotate around, take these engagements, get some good exchanges, possibly try and equate that to a tower going down. But it's not going to be enough until they keep the aggression on. There goes the Wraithfire Blast clutching into boom boom, but it's more like a zoning. Wraithfire Blast. There goes the Exorcism. There goes the Telekinesis. Catches the Wraithfire. The Wraith King.
I'm not quite sure what Wraith King's plan was there. I mean, he ran all the way behind the tower and chased down a full HP Rubik to get a stun off.
He would have thought was there. Yeah, that was a lapse in judgment right there, because there was nothing to be gained from what he did there. But on the upside, that kill actually baited out the exorcism, so they'll keep their tower for the time being.
Yeah, I was just about to say that the only good thing is that there is no exorcism.
Yeah.
It does buy more time, and you know, if you are CFD right now, you have to start getting these towers. I mean,
Yeah, you
is the
need
only
to.
thing that's going to win them this game in my mind, especially now with the scores starting to even out with these 1-2 pickoffs every here and there. You know,
Yeah,
and
and
only a three kill difference. Gold less than a K, XP just over a K. I still don't think it's enough.
the thing is, they need to be winning and winning hard in terms of the laning phase, because going into the mid game, the moment Acid Jack moves around with his Ravage, the moment Mackie Boy starts using his Ice Blast, then you've got problems, because now you're just waiting on Explos to get his reincarnation, and then you're gonna see the 5-man death ball going out. We've got a static
And
link.
he's level 6.
Yep.
He's already got his level 6.
Yeah, he's got his
Interesting
level
to
6.
note, they both warded the exact same spot, so they actually watched them ward there.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see who decides to take the initiative in terms of counter warding. We've got an Ice Blast. Not going to catch anyone, as a few right clicks are being exchanged between Dirge and VF.
Found me twice. Shame on you.
But
Explos really needs to get his level 6 now, and then that is a complete game changer right there.
Not
We're
necessarily.
still going in the way of DK though.
Yep. Looks like we've got a Dragon Tail over onto Dirge, but Dirge is way too fast for VF to capitalize on that Dragon Tail. Yeah, as it stands, if the game keeps going in this fashion, Prodigy will have the edge going into the mid game, because just for the mere fact that they have 4 tanky heroes, it's going to be a problem trying to kill the Wraith King, who's going to be running interference in terms of how he goes into the team fights, pretty much daring everyone to try and kill him. We've got a rotation over on the bot lane. They might be trying to go for Zazi. There goes a Fissure catching Zazi. There goes a Viper Strike and a Telekinesis, a Fate Bolt. And they even commit the Echo Slam. But they get the kill. Goodness, they really wanted him dead. Committing an Echo Slam as well.
Yeah, just get the kill, but it was worth it, I think.
Yeah, no, they need to
get that kill,
they need to stop the cause. They need to stop the cause of Prodigy from securing any farm, from getting any momentum, because the moment the death ball goes, then they've got a problem. And the nice thing coming out from CFD is that the Viper just secured his mech before the Razor got his mech. So if they want to keep the aggression, now's the time to keep on being the aggressors.
Thing is, you know, another thing that's a bit worrying is all these cores are just at one point or another on the side of Prodigy, just farming away. You know, now we've got DK just sitting top farming away. I mean, to be honest, there's not much that a DP can do against him now that he's got 3 levels in his Dragon Blood, as well as bottle and drums. You know, he's just tanky as all hell right now.
And the problem is, DK is he's not going to be even the first line of the first line to be attacked. Looks like we've got an engagement brewing up. There goes the silence, and there's a fissure, but it's on the other side, and there goes the Dragon Tail onto Echi Brony. So VF might make it out alive. There goes an Ice Blast catching Echi Brony, but VF survives.
Ooh.
That was pretty
Unlucky
close.
Fisher, they're just capturing him on the wrong side.
Yeah, that was pretty lucky.
Boom Boom stealing Static Link. Not the greatest spell for him, but not bad either.
Yeah, it's not bad.
What
I
happens
mean,
if they Static Link each other? Do they just like trade damage?
I have no idea. We've got a Dragon Tail going out onto Echi Brony. There goes the Fissure. There goes the Cold Feet. The Wraith Fire Blast catching the Darkseer, and he's gone. Once again, they're running into a wall right now. They're going to get to a point where they can't even take towers. There goes your Wraith Fire Blast, and the Ice Blast catches 3, taking down the Death Prophet. And Explos will probably lose his reincarnation. There goes the Dragon Tail onto Weeple. Weeple might lose his life. There goes the Telekinesis onto the Dragon Knight, and he falls as well. There goes the Static Link onto Explos. Explos is going to lose his life as Viper takes him down.
I don't know what Explodes has got against this Earthshaker, but he really wants Earthshaker. He completely ignored Weeples to go straight for that Earthshaker. I think he was a little bit lower, but he was much further away. You know, he had a slowed down Viper who had cold feet and everything on him, but he still went for the Earthshaker. I just don't think he likes his Earthshaker much.
Okay, here's an interesting thing you should take note of in how the game's progressing right now, because I think in terms of how Prodigy's taking the team fights, they're not taking them as cleanly as they should, and they keep getting unfavorable exchanges. If this keeps happening, then CFD might get to a point where the draft advantage coming out from Prodigy doesn't matter. But right now we've already got Tidehunter with his Blink Dagger on the UA, so that's going to be a key item going into the mid game.
Interestingly enough, did you know that Rubik is the most picked hero since 6.81 in terms of pro matches? The most picked hero. That's quite an interesting little stat there.
I wouldn't be surprised. He's essentially one of the I mean, he may not be the best support in this current patch, but he is one of the most solid supports you can get. He works well in the lane.
He's got stun, he's got damage reduction, he's got magic reduction on your team, you know. He does a lot of work without
We've got a smoke gang going off. Oh, there goes the blink. There goes a fissure and an exorcism. Explodes might just fall as a fate ball catches him. There goes your plasma field. We've got a Ravage catching 3. And just like that, the Ice Blast follow up. There goes an Echo Slam catching 3. But it's just chaos. There goes the cold feet onto Easy. Easy will lose his life, but VF will fall in the backgrounds. And it's a 5-man wipe going the way of CFD. And they might just make this a tower push. They might just translate this into a tower. And once again, Prodigy not taking the cleanest fights. And to be fair, they were sideswiped in terms of how CFD went onto them, because they wrapped around them, catching them off guard. I think CFD's playing this game very well, considering the type of heroes they have.
I think also just in general, a little bit of a problem that AA is having is not landing the cleanest ultis. Toppy landed a nice one on 3-man, but generally speaking there, I mean, he actually ultied over here, when if he had just let go a second later, he would have caught all of them in that ulti, you know? Yeah. Or most of them at least. So landing those clean ultis makes a big difference.
Yeah, no, they need to take these team fights as cleanly as possible, because if they keep giving away exchanges in favor of CFD, CFD is gonna get to a point where their lineup just doesn't care about how tanky you are. We've got a Dragon Tail and a Silence, but there goes the telekinesis of Hyper Strike. VF may lose his life and he falls. There goes the Ice Blast catching only Boom Boom. And they've already got a pipe, so it's looking a little scary, because Ancient Apparition is becoming a little bit of a non-factor now.
Yeah, they're going to take the 3rd tower now.
Yeah,
and they've still got all their tier 1s up.
Yeah, they still got all their tier 1s up. They've taken down essentially all the tier 1s going their way, and possibly they might want to translate this into another aggressive move, and looks like that's the case with them smoking up, or they might even commit to Roche. Yep, it looks like they want to go. They're gonna go for the Roche. And the question is, do Prodigy know that this is going down? That is the question.
Even if they do, not much they can do right now. I mean, Acid Jack's ult is still on cooldown. It's just actually come off cooldown. Now they could do something, but don't think they're even aware.
They should be aware. I mean, it should be obvious. There's lanes being pushed out, and there's not a single hero anywhere apart from Easy, and I'm not really sure they can see them. There goes a fissure going out onto 3. Ooh, looks like they want to go in, but they secure the Roche. We've got an Echo Slam catching 2. There goes the Silence on 2-2 as well. Explos will probably lose his reincarnation. And he does. There goes the Plasma Field just to zone them out. Explos might lose his life. We've got a Viper Strike, but it's not going to secure any kills.
Yeah,
yeah.
they'll just back off easily enough.
CFD is keeping the gas on right now. They're making sure because they know their lineup is currently on a timer, and they're still at a point where they can still get a lot done in the game. So they're not giving Prodigy the space to get where they need to with their draft.
One thing I must say, this goes out to Zassy.
Dire's bottom tower
Open your Ring of Aquila. Why so selfish, bro?
We've got an exorcism being procced out. There goes a ravage. Catches 5. There goes the ice blast. The ice blast gonna catch 4. We're gonna lose the ages. The exorcism's doing so much damage though. So is the ice blast. There goes the plasma field catching 3. We lose quite a few as well. Dirge is causing so much damage with his exorcism. There goes the Crypt Swarm. BF might lose his life. There goes the fissure, and it secures a 5-man wipe. The second successive 5-man wipe going CFD's way.
tower is under attack.
That exorcism doing so much damage in that fight, as well as that wall.
Yeah, they're underestimating just how much damage comes out from the exorcism. I mean, if you're gonna take a team fight into an exorcism,
Is under attack.
then you're asking for a world of hurt, man.
Under attack.
Yeah, no, that was. I think also it was a bit badly coordinated. I mean, Tidehunter jumped in, then they literally went in one after another.
Yeah.
They couldn't coordinate slightly.
We've got a
better.
Ray
Things
Fire
could have
Blast
been
going out
slightly
into
different result.
Weeple, but it's merely to zone them up to make sure they don't go high ground. I mean, okay, you look at Weeple. Weeple knows that this game must not go on any further. In fact, he's going for the glass cannon build. He wants to make sure he can keep spamming out the Viper strikes since he's going for the Aghanims build onto the Viper. It's getting pretty dicey for Prodigy because I look over at the gold
Yeah.
graph and it's almost at 10k, and then you look at the XP graph. The XP is almost skirting around the 12k region. So it's looking quite dicey right now. You look at the top 3 farmers, the top 2 being from CFD in the Death Prophet and the Viper, and then you look at the third man solo from his team, VF on the Dragon Knight. And the thing is, you look at his item progression. He's gone for a Maelstrom at this point. So with the Maelstrom being picked up, he doesn't necessarily have sustainability. So he's not as tanky as a Dragon Knight could be. And you've seen in how quickly he falls.
To be honest, in this game, I definitely would have rather gone for a BKB build. I mean, you pop a BKB on this fight, and who do you have to worry about? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think
I
the only
definitely think
thing
you should rather go on BKB.
the only thing you worry about, does exorcism does go through BKB, right?
It doesn't, as far as I know, but I think it's just magic damage.
Because
As far as I know, it doesn't go through it.
Are you sure? Because I think it's physical
I'm
instead.
checking out.
I don't know. But yeah. Okay. The one thing that looks like we've got a telekinesis and a few right clicks taking down the Wraith King. So many pickoffs. If they keep giving these pickoffs off, they're not going to get to a point where they can sustain themselves or prolong this game, because they need to prolong this game coming out on Prodigy. But yeah, onto the BKB point. We've got telekinesis, we've got fissures, we've got echo slams. So there's a decent amount of there's a good reason why you should be committing into getting the BKB as opposed to building your Maelstrom first. And it looks like they're gonna take
Even Viper Strike.
yeah, even Viper Strike goes through BKB. Ooh, are they gonna go high ground?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
That's risky though. Going high ground without getting
Are fortified.
okay, they have a reasonable lead, but I think they should go the safer route, because they have to remember that they'll be going high ground up against the Ravage, up against the Ice Blast, up against whatever Razor will be dealing. Ooh, we've got the drums being popped. Dirge moving like lightning, making sure he doesn't get caught. Nah, they should go back. They're not gonna get him. So if you're the captain on Prodigy's side, what is your game plan to try and get back into the game?
I think you just have to try and turtle it a bit now, you know. I
Yeah.
still give them the edge, but you know they need to start getting these towers. They need to get these items up. If they can get those items and levels, you know, they can definitely still win this. But they can't afford to lose team fights like they did the previous 2 team fights lost in a row.
Okay, we've got Ags coming out from the Razor. Okay, if I'm looking at these teams' respective item progressions, I'm looking over at Echi Brony. Echi Brony sitting there with the pipe. We've got our Earthshaker who's already got his Blink Dagger, and it looks like I'm not sure if he's building into a Dagon or if he's building into a 4-staff. It looks like he's building into a 4-staff. We've got Boom Boom already gone to a 4-staff. So we've got farmed supports for one thing. We've got farmed supports. And then on the other end, we've got Weeple. Weeple's got a decent amount of damage. He's got a decent amount of levels. But yeah, if this game is prolonged, the item progression is not too steep in the favor of Prodigy, and it looks like we've got a pushing war going out. So yeah, they're going high ground.
I don't think this is suiting CFD right now. Okay, they might get this tower, but just
they get this tower. We've got the Dragon Form going out. There goes the PKP. There goes the Viper Strike onto VF. VF might lose his life. There goes the Ravage. Catching 4. There goes the Echo Slam. Echo Slam. Oh, we've got a wall vacuum combo going out, but we've already lost the Death Prophet. We lose the Ancient Apparition. Ancient Apparition buys back. We've got some Viper Strikes going out onto VF. VF is probably going to fall. He does take a spill. And now he's dealing up against Zassy Explodes and Acid Jack. He's probably going to fall as the Cold Feet catches him. And there he falls to the Tide Hunter. And that is some overzealous commitment coming out from CFD. They weren't strong enough to go high ground.
I don't think that engagement suited them at all. It's not only the fact that they went high ground, is they sacrificed their bottom tower, and you know, this is starting to slowly close that distance. I mean, we see Ags on Razor. He still hasn't opened up his Ring of Aquila because he obviously doesn't want to give his extra armor and mana to his teammates. But yeah, in general, I think that definitely was a little bit of a boost towards Prodigy. You know, they managed to get 2 towers out of it, but they lost 4 of their guys in doing so, and they lost. And
they've been losing quite a few towers though. It's not like Prodigy's been sitting back on their laurels. They've actually been taking towers, just pushing just enough to make sure that they're at the very least closing the territory gap. I mean, we've only got two out tier 2s on the CFD side, so it's not like it's that big of a difference in terms of territory.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of a warding war going on here. Get out!
It's about to get real. Ooh.
Okay.
Mackie Boy's in no man's land. There goes a fissure and a silence. Mackie Boy's gonna lose his life to a Fate Bolt.
Was that ward worth it, bro?
And they may just get Acid Jack in the back line.
Yeah.
He's in the wrong neighborhood. He blinks out, he TPs. Oh, the fissure catches him. Oh, there goes the vacuum. Now they know where he is.
How did they know he was there? Did they see him?
The fissure caught him. I don't know how they saw it, but it looks like we've got some right clicks coming out from Weeple. Earthshaker secures the kill onto the Tide Hunter. Acid Jack was in no man's land.
Why he ran up there though? Why did he not go back?
Okay, he blinked there and then tried to TP, and then at that point the fissure was at the ready, and then it just went downhill from there.
No, what I mean is, why didn't he come back this way?
Oh,
why
you mean when he saw his fellow teammate die? That is a good question. Looks
Why
like
did he
Dirge
still
is
go
in
try
no
to
man's
defeat?
land. There goes a Wraithfire Blast onto Dirge. Dirge will probably lose his life. There goes the Dragon Tail. There goes the Static Link. There goes the Plasma Field. And we've got a dead Dirge on the Death Prophet. In the meantime, CFD is looking to recoup their losses by going for another Roshan attempt. But we're getting to that point. Their timer's running out. Their timer is running out.
Ooh. And they spotted out in this rush attempt. Plus, almost all the LTs are up. They should go counter this. I mean, they know they're rushing.
We've got some trivia for you, good sir. For some trivia for you in terms of what you've been complaining about. Before we get to that though, it looks like we have a team fight on our way. There goes a Fissure, and it blocks Acid Jacks, and it blocks the rest of the team's access into the fight. We've got a Viper Strike going on to Explos. Explos might lose his life. There goes an Echo Slam. We've got the Ice Blast going. There goes the Wall. There goes a Ravage, catching 5. But we lose the Wraith King's reincarnation. There goes an Exorcism. We've got Viper Strikes going out. We're losing lives. VF is probably going to fall as a Viper Strike and the Exorcism's dealing so much damage to him. But in the backlines we lose ourselves the Darkseer. There goes the Fissure. Zassy may just lose his life. Ooh, it's looking
Where
dicey.
was Zassy for that whole fight though?
Acid Jack getting caught by the Telekinesis Fate Bolt and the Exorcism securing that kill. That team fight was taken in stride. You know what's cool about that team fight? The way the Earthshaker blocked off the access to the Roche pit, and he blocked off. He got Acid Jack essentially isolated, and that essentially meant the team fight would be disjointed coming out on P Dagon. But yeah, good question. Where was Razor in that team fight?
Yeah, Razor came in very late to the team fight. I mean, if he had come a bit earlier, I mean, Viper was nearly dead. Viper would have gone down. He just came in very, very late. I think that was a bit of a bad engagement. Again, you see Prodigy taking these engagements, but where they end up going in one at a time is definitely not what they want to do.
Yeah, they can't keep giving this up.
CFD.
They can't keep taking engagements like this because they've still got a lifeline in terms of how this game is going. But if they keep taking these unfavorable exchanges, it's gonna amount to a point where their lineup the strength of their lineup doesn't matter. And as I mentioned earlier, I have some trivia coming out from a viewer. A disabled Aquila does give armor to the teammates. It just doesn't give it to the creeps.
Oh, right. But give it to the damn creeps when you're pushing.
Oh, goodness. So, do they take high ground? Are they strong enough to take high ground? Weeple sitting there with BKB. He's got himself the Aegis, and he's got himself the Ags and the Mech. Are they strong enough to go high ground? I mean, they've got BKBs now. We've got 2 BKBs. We've got Blink Dagger coming out. Blink Dagger and Force Staff onto Boom Boom. We've got Blink Dagger and Force Staff onto Easy on the Earthshaker. Etchy Brony has almost got his Shiva's got. So would you say they're strong enough to go high ground now?
Yes and no. They can't not go, especially with Explos just pushing that top lane out.
Yeah.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Explos is trying to cause some split shenanigans, but this tower's gonna fall. There goes the Dragon Form being procced. We've got a BKB being procced. The Viper Strike onto Zassy. There goes the Wall. There goes the Exorcism taking out so much damage. We've got an Ice Blast. There we've got Ravage catching 4. And lives are going left, right, and center. We've got the Plasma Field going out. The Eye of the Storm has been procced. We've got a Viper Strike going out onto Acid Jack. Acid Jack. We've got 2 buybacks coming out onto the Dragon Knight and the Razor. And Explos also buys back. So it's a fight going the way of CFD. There goes your Plasma Field. Catches 2. Weeple will probably lose his life. He'll probably die. There he goes as well. Boom might be in no man's land as well. He blinks out of danger. So much chaos. And the Anchor Smash takes him down. So much.
I'm just not happy with the way that that Prodigy are engaging these fights. They seem to be purposefully going in one at a time. And
Okay.
then instead of combining their skills.
Okay, on the upside, they did defend their racks. That's one upside, and now you look at CFD. CFD have expended the Aegis, and they didn't get anything for their troubles. So
They did manage to get 2 buybacks, which is going to be very costly.
yeah,
It
fair
could
enough.
prove to be
It's
costly.
fair enough. They got 2 buybacks, but the thing is, the problem is now we're getting to a point where even if they've got a decent lead, the problem is the moment whenever the key spells coming out from Prodigy are off cooldown, CFD can never take a team fight, and if Prodigy just decides to take the right team fights, then they will always win a team fight, and that could translate to them now taking the towers. I mean, there's only one outer tier 2 left coming out from CFD, so it's becoming problematic. I mean, yes, they have a gold lead, almost a 10k gold lead, but at this point it's a little bit deceptive just because of the lineups that we've got. We've got a smoke movement coming out from CFD, so it should be interesting to see how CFD plan to close this game out if they can, because it's not as easy as they thought it would be. They may translate this into a Rax. We've got a silence going out onto VF. VF will probably fall. Ooh, he procs his BKB and
Nice
he's
BKB.
out. Procs his
job surviving
BKB
it.
and he's out.
The thing is, we've got now Wraith King. He's finally got his level 16.
Yeah.
And that means a minute cooldown on his ulti, along with Razor's minute cooldown on his ulti.
Is under attack.
You know, this actually looks like my turn for Prodigy now.
It's
They just need
it's
to
already
coordinate their
turning.
team fights better.
It's already turning. The thing is, you must look at Explos. Explos is kind of building into a 4th core, and he TPs out as a Viper Strike catches him. He's building into a 4th core. So, as a 4th core, then CFD has a problem because their damage potential. I look at their right click damage. They don't have that much right click damage coming out on their team, and then you look over on Prodigy. They've got the Wraith King who's trying to double up as he's trying to double up as a damage dealer right now. Razor's obviously dealing so much damage because of Eye of the Storm, and then you've got Dragon Knight who's also building some decent damage. Now he's already got his Mjolnir set up as well. So
And he's got his BKB. Go, my
Yep,
boy.
yep. It's starting to look rather dire for CFD. Excuse the pun.
I must admit though, what Wraith King did there is he drew out a lot of space and a lot of time to let his guys farm. He had
Yeah.
4 TPs come for him top.
The thing is, he's
4 guys TP'd in top, and he still managed to get away.
Yeah, man.
Which gave this whole bottom lane to DK to farm up, you know.
pretty much he's been pretty much splitting their focus, and a team like CFD with their lineup, if you split their focus, then it becomes problematic because their lineup excels when they're together. We've got a Viper Strike going out onto Zassi, but the rest of the team is way too far back to translate that into anything. We've got an Exorcism being procced. There goes the Dragon form. And we've got so many BKBs being procced right now. That means the Ice Blast catching anyone means nothing at the point. We've got the Static Link going out to people, but it's disjointed very soon afterwards. Ooh, here's another problem now. CFD is getting to the point where they just can't push high ground. They just can't push high ground now. We've got a Plasma
that whole
Field catching
time-
two. Oh, we've got
Red Knight is
a
just farming.
War Vac going out onto 4. Mackie boy loses his life as a result.
Dire's bottom tower
Yeah, no,
is
I think
under attack.
they need to reconsider how they take. Ooh, we've got a Ravage catching 4, and we've got a Static Link being disjointed. If they don't get anything from that Ravage, that would be a Ravage lost. That would be a Ravage wasted actually. Eye of the Storm is being procced. We've got Shiva's God being procced. We've got an Echo Slam. There goes the Vacuum. And 3 are down for Prodigy right now. And you look at the buybacks. Oh, only the Tide Hunter and the Ancient Apparition have buybacks. So it's meaningless because obviously they're still alive. We've got Acid Jack jumping in. He's being a martyr right now. He's definitely going to lose his life as a Viper Strike catches him.
Barracks are under attack.
And this is going to be the second lane of Rax, and this could possibly be CFD trying to close out the game now, as they secure the melee Rax and range Rax closely to follow.
Structures are fortified.
What
I don't
did
know
he
what
steal?
happened.
Oh,
but
he's got an
I
ice
think
blast.
Explose cancelled his TP.
Oh, there's so many mistakes coming out from Prodigy in terms of how they're taking these engagements, because they certainly have the drafting. Their draft sort of gives them the edge in terms of what they should be getting. But the problem is Tidehunter expended his Ravage to no avail. They got nothing out of that, and that meant CFD could go back, try and slow siege, and then instead we got a few BKBs being propped off, which essentially meant a fight was gonna go down. Viper strikes were going all over the place, and it just meant death, and it translated to 2 lanes of racks. Now they've got a big problem, because it was looking good for, well, not necessarily good, but they were coming back into the game in terms of their positional the positional advantage, because they also only have to push high ground. That's all that's left for them. But now CFD has put them into a point where they have to split their focus between top and mid, and obviously CFD is going to be trying to commit to the bottom lane. So now it's looking very problematic for Prodigy.
Yeah, I agree. And we see a heart being picked up on what's them called there on Dirge on DP. But just in general, if CFD win this, I think it's because they have their team fights set down much better.
Yeah, they're
and
taking cleaner fights.
And Prodigy, just the team fights are not coming together. I mean, that whole fight, like I said, I didn't see exactly what happened, but
The Ravage was the big problem. They wasted a Ravage, and that specific Ravage didn't secure any kills. And that when you catch a Ravage, when you use a Ravage and catch 4 people and no one dies, no one really loses health, that signals CFD to come in and take your territory. And we've got Exorcism and Plasma Field going out.
just in general.
We've got a Ravage. Ravage catches 4. There goes your wall vacuum combo. Lives are going to be lost. We've got the Ice Blast catching a few. We've got the Echo Slam going. The Exorcism dealing so much damage. But Dirge falls on his Death Prophet. So does Weeple. And there's a buyback coming out from Weeple. Boom, boom. Trying to secure his life. And just like that, we lose Viper as well. Ooh.
And they bought 2 buybacks. You
Yeah,
see, now,
2 buybacks.
This is my problem. If Explose was in that last team fight, something similar could have happened there.
Yeah. They still have a relative. They still have a pretty strong team fight. They just need to chain their. The problem is they need coordination in how they take the team fights. Like there needs to be a concise plan. Okay, we're now going to defend high ground. The moment a Ravage goes, that's the signal for you guys to let loose. There should be static links going out, making sure that there's less damage being dealt out coming out from CFD. There should be Ice Blast going out, meaning more damage is dealt. They should be taking more, because it's not like there's a huge skill cap in terms of the way the team is drafted, because I mean, the Ravage signals Wraith King to go and get a few Wraith Blasts going. There's going to be an Ice Blast. It's not like there's no room for error in their draft.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like I said, I still think they could have kept both their racks, or at least kept one, if that Wraith King had TP'd in that mid fight, though. Even if Ravage was expended. Yeah. I still think, because I mean, they just lost that fight, you know, just. It wasn't like they dominated and Wraith King was busy farming that top tower. So I think if he had taken that, if he had TP'd back, I don't know if he counted TP, because I did see he had a TP scroll, and then when I checked, he didn't have it anymore. But I think it could have been different. This whole setup could have been very different. Now they've got a very difficult job to try and come back from.
Yeah, okay, it's not the most impossible thing, because you have to consider now that we've got Razor and Dragon Knight. Those are pretty going into the late game. Those are very, very strong pushes. I mean, obviously you've got the Agh's Eye of the Storm going out, and obviously when Dragon Knight is in his Elder Dragon form, he's also dealing massive amounts of damage to any towers. So in that sense, they have the lineup that can actually go high ground once they actually secure maybe a pick off or two, maybe even going straight up in a 5-on-5 engagement. Ooh, we've got Roche being attempted by CFD. Prodigy must know. Prodigy must know. They
Dire's
must know
top
this is
tower
going down.
under attack.
If they don't, I mean, it's not the end of the world.
Wants his tower.
The thing is, it's not the end of the world.
Roshan
It's
has
not the
fallen.
end of the world if, and it's Aegis and Cheese right now. It's not the end of the world if they don't contest this Roshan attempt, but it's gonna make their next defense a little bit difficult. We've got the reincarnation being procced out. Explos might lose his life. There goes a Ray 5 blast onto Echi Brony, and there's a fissure trying to make sure that Explos doesn't get out. We've got a Ravage catching 3. Echi Brony might lose his life. There goes a wall, but the wall means nothing at this point. There goes an exorcism being procced by Dirge. Dirge is gonna lose his life probably. We've got a few. Oh, he actually procced the cheese and a BKB, but he might fall. Oh, he's skirting really close to death right now. He's skirting really close to death. And that is some great work coming out from Prodigy, realizing that once the reincarnation came out, they had a good opportunity to actually capitalize on the amount of effect going out on that reincarnation, and now they can push high ground as well.
Dire's top tower.
Oh, we've got a vacuum going out. There goes the Echo Slam, catching 3, a fissure catching 3 as well. Acid Jack falls, the Dragon Knight's falling. Zassy's probably gonna lose his life, and that's 3 for essentially nil after CFD lost the original engagement. Or actually, they lost the Darkseer. And in the meantime, Weeple's going mid. He's going toe to toe with Explos on the Wraith King. He procs his BKB. Is it enough? Is he gonna lose his life? He's dealing some poison attacks over onto Explos. They're going toe to toe. They're going toe to toe. There goes the cold feed. Procs the Aegis. And he doesn't have a problem. Explos is going to lose his life to the Crypt Swarm coming out from Dirge. And now they're going for the Jugular. They're going for the Jugular. They want to take out the Rax. We've got Plasma Field going out. They want to go for the Rax. If they can secure this Rax, then the game is a lot easier for CFD, because going up against Mega Creeps is not something that's essentially easy to do at all. So much chaos, man. So much chaos.
That last part, I didn't even see Tidehunter was anywhere near there.
Yeah, Tidehunter just came out of nowhere, man.
Explos is dead, he's lost his life, and next thing you see a Tidehunter jump in. I was like, damn!
Smoke and mirrors, man. Smoke and mirrors. That's exactly what it was.
Very well played. I think they should have maybe got back at that point when they saw that the rest were back up again, They shouldn't have tried to push that high ground, especially with Explos ulti being expended, Ravage being expended, almost all their spells being expended. I think they should have just taken that as a big win and got back and then waited for another push so they could counter it again.
Okay, I mentioned earlier that the right click damage coming out from CFD doesn't look to be as hectic as you would get from Prodigy in a late game scenario, but now we've got Weeple who's essentially building into a butterfly. Dirge obviously has his heart, and the exorcism is just destroying people. We've got a Viper Strike going out to VF, but mainly just zoning out. He's essentially just gonna spam these just to be an annoyance. We've got the exorcism being procced. Looks like they're ready to go high ground. We've got the Dragon Tail catching Weeple. We've got the Plasma Field also catching 2. There goes the Ice Blast. Ice Blast is gonna catch no one. Ooh, we've got the Echo Slam being procced. There goes your wall. There goes a Ravage catching all 5. We losing Weeple. Weeple falls in the back, and it looks like Dirge will also lose his life. There goes a buyback coming out from Weeple, but is it gonna be worth it? We've got another buyback coming out from the Death Prophet as well. So it looks like they want to retaliate. They want to retaliate, and I mean the Dragon Knight is down, and he doesn't have buyback. His buyback is on cooldown for at the very least something like 3 minutes right now. Zassi may lose his life, but he's just getting hit by the wall illusions. But yeah, they're ready to go for it again. We've got a vacuum, and he procs his Shiva's God. Echi Brony will lose his life for that. And now,
once again, though, in the last fight, I can't help but wonder what would have happened if we had Tidehunter jumping in there quicker.
Yep. We've got ourselves a Viper Strike going out onto Acid Jack, but
He
he's
does
gotten
have
to the
his ulti
tanky
though.
point. Explos reincarnating. Will they kill him again? There goes the Viper Strike. We've got a Ice Blast coming out. Ice Blast catches two. There, Weeple and Dirge might lose their lives because the Eye of the Storm is actually going out. Eye of the Storm will probably take down Weeple, and he does fall. And now it's getting to that point where if any more deaths happen, ooh, we've got a Wraith Blast catching Acid Jack. Goodness, goodness, that Eye of the
Razor's
Storm,
putting in
man.
that work.
That Eye of the Storm.
Middle tower has
Well, they're losing tier 4s though. That they're losing tier 4s. But if they can make one more defense that is in that fashion, because I look over, actually if you look over on CFD side, they actually don't have buybacks right now. The only buyback coming out is from the Rubik. So if Prodigy wins one more team fight, this game is in their hands. This game is essentially
Here's the
in their
problem though,
hands.
they're always going to have to leave somebody back to defend though. They can't commit a whole team.
Oh no, you know what they're doing is, the thing is, they're pushing out both the lanes where they've lost Rex. So the moment they're trying to make sure that when they take a team fight, they take the team fight on the dire side. And if they win that team fight, it doesn't really matter if one of their lanes is being pushed out, because it essentially means now they've got both those lanes being pushed out in their favor, and then they can push high ground and possibly go for tier 4s instead of trying to secure all the racks. We've got a Fissure going out, catching 3. There goes a wall vacuum combo. We've got the Exorcism being proc. There goes your static link, but is actually disjointed. There's
Yeah,
not
they back off. I think that's the right thing to do.
There's not much damage being dealt actually. Ooh, we've got the Echo Slam. There goes the Ravage. Ravage catching 4, and we lose the Death Prophet. We lose 4, and it's a buyback coming out from the Rubik, and now it's looking devastating now for CFD. It's looking very devastating. We've got a static link going out onto Weeple. Zassy may lose his life. We've got a Wraith Blast going out onto Weeple. Weeple's being cold feet. Ooh, we've got the Reincarnate proc game. The cold feet actually procs onto Weeple. Wraith Blast catching Weeple. Weeple may take a spill. We've got Telekinesis being proc. There goes the
They
Viper Strike
shouldn't be
onto
chasing
Acid
it.
Jack.
This is the time they
Acid
should
Jack
be
will
doing-
probably be losing. They should have focused on objectives. Acid Jack will lose his life. This back and forth between the teams, man, they're being short-sighted in terms of what they should be doing when they push high ground. They shouldn't have been
they
chasing
really
for those
shouldn't have
kills.
chased down there.
I mean, they got
they
4
chased-
kills. They had 4 kills in their favor. All they had to do was take one lane of Rex, regroup, push another lane, because now you've got a foothold back into the game.
Yeah, they also they forced the buybacks on a couple of players. I didn't see who all bought back there.
The
They
Rubik bought
should have
back at
gone
some
back
point.
though after that.
Yeah, they should have went back. They should have recognized, okay, we've essentially achieved part of what we came to do. We forced buybacks. Now let's regroup. We've already proven we can take team fights. Let's keep pushing out the lanes. Let's make sure that once we take the next team fight, we can actually translate that into a push onto one of the racks, either mid or top. But yeah,
Now
it's
it's going to be hard to defend.
It's going to be hard to
22nd,
defend.
I think.
It's going to be hard to defend. But I mean, if there is a lineup that can actually defend, it's this lineup. Unfortunately, they have to wait for the Razor and the Tidehunter to get back. We've got the Yules being used up onto VF.
Radiant structures
This
are
cord being
fortified.
propped up. Ooh, we've got Exorcism taking down damage. We've got the Fissure going out. Catches only explodes because of the BKB charges. There goes your wall vacuum combo. Oh, so much damage. The Dragon Knight is dead. We've got the Exorcism dealing so much damage. Explodes is almost gonna fly. We've got the Telekinesis being procced out onto Mackie Boy, but Rubik takes a spill as well. Acid Jack, also they're being causing so much problems. There he goes with the Ravage and the Eye of the Storm dealing so much damage, and once again, they almost lost all the racks. The melee racks are still up, so that's one positive. And I
They're
mean,
1/4 racks away from going up against Megas. You know, it's honestly a now or never kind of scenario.
It really
I
is.
want to mention the last fight after they chased, they all chased through the wall as well, which is
Yeah.
definitely, it should be an extra signal not to go in. But now,
That
unfortunately,
wall
I
is
think they don't
causing
have
problems,
any choice but to
actually.
push.
That wall is causing problems. I mean, they're
Mega
negating they're negating the damage with their pipe procking. But the problem is with the pipe procking. Obviously, the pipe has to deal with both the wall damage, and the exorcism. So there's still a lot of damage coming out, and it's causing problems. And the big problem with obviously the wall is the illusions, because those illusions are actually what they were using to push down the racks. But it looks like they want to go for their final stand. It's now or never. It's now or never.
Dire's middle tower
They're going up high ground. Eye of the Storm has been procced. BKB is being procced. Easy trying to go in for a shaky fissure, and he gets a fissure. There goes the vacuum catching out Explodes. We've got the Shiva's Guard being procced. Ooh, looks like Explodes may take a spill. Does he have the reincarnate? Oh, there goes. He actually does have his ultimate, but he may take a spill. There goes the Viper Strike onto Explodes. Explodes will probably lose his life right now, and he takes a spill to the Viper. And in the meantime, they have to get stuck with pushing out these lanes, because right now they're pretty much, as you mentioned, they're essentially one melee racks away from dealing with a full tri lane of mega creeps. So it's looking pretty scaly, man. It's looking rather
But
scaly.
again, the Wraith King just not getting out in time. I mean, they had more than enough time. They saw everybody was back. You should get back, bro, you know? You really should. You have to try and push, but you can't push a whole racks with 2 of them
Yeah.
versus 5.
It's the
And now
this
you're
is
down.
the last stand. This is the last stand. If this Rax goes down, this game is probably over. We've got Yules over onto the Tide Hunter. There goes the Viper Strike onto VF. There goes the wall. We've got ourselves an Echo Slam, but Echo Slam didn't really deal damage. There goes the Ravage. Catches all 5. Another Ravage. Catches 5 again. And now it's just chaos. It's just chaos. CFD is losing manpower. Losing so much manpower. There goes the Ray 5 blast onto Weeple. Weeple will probably lose his life. Oh, he's gonna TP out.
That TP.
That TP. But they got the prize. They got the prize. They paid for it heavily, but they got the prize. Is this gonna be the first pro comeback from a Mega Creeps lineup?
It can be done.
Is it? It can be done. I mean,
Definitely can be done.
it can be done. It can be done. We've got Razor. We've got Dragon Knight. Who looks like we've got a Fissure just trying to delay them. But I don't think they even need to push for any other creeps. All they need to do is go get the Rex and go for the Jugular. We've got Static Link over onto Weeple. There goes the Ice Blaster, catches Weeple. Now they're just going for the Rex. They're just going for the Rex. We've got a Fissure going out onto Explodes. Chilling Touch being procced out. There goes the Eye of the Storm. Viper Strike over onto VF. So much chaos going on. Cold Feet over onto Easy. Easy's going to lose his life to the Eye of the Storm and the Plasma Field. Weeple will follow. Zassy is losing his life as well, though. But they take down the first. They take down the range racks. It's looking pretty even right now in terms of the exchange. Explodes is going to lose his life. Ooh. Not what they came there to do. And in the meantime, you look over at the top lane, you look over at the Mega Creeps. The Mega Creeps are doing so much damage.
Just doing all the work.
GG Creeps, man. And in the meantime, we've got people dying in the backlines. Acid Jack having been dealt the telekinesis, having been dealt the Viper Strike. He's got problems galore. He's probably gonna lose his life. This game is essentially done and dusted. Look at the base. The action is happening in the other avenues, but the base is falling to shit right now. The base is falling to shit. This game is pretty much done and dusted. There's nothing Prodigy can do. They tried valiantly. They delayed the game, but it's just not enough. It just wasn't enough. CFD
What
just
a game,
kept.
though. What a game.
What a
by
game.
both teams.
The CFG just kept pushing. They just kept pushing the aggression, and it eventually led to them winning the game. This game is done and dusted. We've got Exorcism being procced. the ancient sitting there in 73, and it falls, and it's a well-earned win coming out from CFD, because that game, Prodigy tried. Prodigy tried valiantly, but it just boiled down to CFD knowing that their lineup needs a very decent advantage if they ever want to take the game, because Prodigy was capable of delaying the team fights. I think coming out from as good as the game was on both sides of on both teams, both of them had tactical errors. You look at CFD tried to push high ground too early. They tried to push high ground without getting pickoffs. They tried to push high ground knowing that there's Ravage available, knowing that the Ice Blast is available. But look at Prodigy took very scrappy fights, and I mean for a long time when they had the lineup that actually has the better team fight, they were actually being put on the back foot, because they were going in one by one, getting picked off as the team fight progresses, and they just never coordinated. But eventually they tried to get that going in the last few minutes of the game. They delayed it as possible. It's a 60-minute game, but CFD just took it home.
Yeah, I think it all comes down to the fact that CFD's team fights were just a million times better than Prodigy's. Prodigy, they did well, they held on, that they occasionally looked like they were coming back, but they just couldn't coordinate those team fights. There was always one or two people that came in late to the team fight, or wasn't there, and ultimately that is what cost them this game, I think, in my opinion.
Pretty much.
Nothing taken away from CFD. Those team fights were brilliant. Those buybacks were just at the right time. They made really good calls, really smart calls to try and pick off guys. They just really played a very good game. Despite me still thinking that Prodigy's lineup was the stronger of the two, CFD went and showed that it's not necessarily the strength of the lineup, but rather
how
in
it's
your
played.
total play style and your decisions and things like that. So very well done by CFD. I think it was a very good game, very close game, but a good game, CFD.
Yeah, man, amazing game. I hope the viewers enjoyed this game, because we enjoyed casting this game. Your host Saint D, and this is Insanity from EAE Gaming. Please follow us on Facebook, EAE Gaming, on Twitter as well. We use the same Twitter handle at EAE Gaming, and follow our YouTube channel, EAE Gaming as well. We'll have a lot of these games up, and keep following us for more insight on up and coming games. We will hopefully have more games for you. Cheers, guys.
Also, the site should be up soon, guys, and not to mention we also have a Twitch that we will be streaming to soon, guys. So
yes, things are looking
subscribing to all those things. Start subscribing and always be informed. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks, D-Bro. It was awesome casting with you.
Awesome, man. Peace.
Cheers, bro.